Okay. Last year, at breakfast at the Sheraton, I walked past a table and I heard this. My aunt left her teeth at Hooters. I started walking backwards. I turned around. I said, I've got to sit down with you. And I did. Now, I am an extreme extrovert, but that took a lot for me to overcome the voices in my head that said, you can't just go sit down. Who do you think you are? And actually sit down. And it was the beginning of a wonderful friendship with fellow TEDster Ruby Wax. So what are these things that you can do, and especially that I do every day and many, many times a day, to overcome those voices in your head? I call them the graces, and because this is the afternoon of acronyms, I will tell you about those graces. Generosity, rescue, attention, confidence, exact, and serendipity. You can remember them. Generosity, that is the basis for all of networks. That's really the basis of TED. I mean, we would not be here without the generosity of everybody who's a part of TED. It's not a zero-sum game. It is about openness. It's about connectivity. Come forth this entire week with the spirit of generosity. And I would argue throughout your entire life with the spirit of generosity. And it will pay off in ways you could only begin to imagine. Really, I'm absolutely true. Rescue. See that person over here in the corner who looks like they're lost, or who looks like they don't know quite where to go, or who looks just a little bit lonely? Go over and talk to them. Introduce yourself. That other person over there who looks like they're stuck in a conversation that they can't extricate themselves from. We've all been there. Go over and just insinuate yourself in that conversation and see. Throw them a rescue line. Attention. And we know that that is the scarcest of all resources, and we know we all crave it. And we know we have millions of devices and millions of things that will pull us away from giving our full attention. It's been talked about before today. But really, truly, the quality of the relationships, the quality of the conversations, and the interactions that you'll have this entire week, and again, throughout life, this is just not for TED, or not just for TED. It is about your full attention. There's a phrase that I learned from my daughter called FOMO, which is fear of missing out. And I spend most of my life FOMOing. And TED is really a place that you can just go nuts with FOMO. Because you're in this really good conversation, and then you think, oh my God, if this is good, what's going on over there? Don't. If you're in a great conversation, stay in that. And when you're ready to go on, go on. But you will die trying to get to that next conversation that doesn't exist. Stay where you are until you're ready to move. Confidence. This is a week to go forth unafraid. This is one to not be afraid of jumping into a conversation. These are carefully curated C's, and if you're even in this room or in this place for this time, that means you're remarkable. So trust that you can jump in to the waters and swim in any conversation, go up to anybody that you want to meet. Do it. Exact. The way that you get what you want, I guess everything in life is that way. The way that you get to meet the people that you want to meet is to be very specific. So right now, I'm studying or learning about and most interested in traumatic brain injury. So you might think of me as the concussion person, right? Because I'm working on a particular project. So when I'm talking to you, I'm going to say, if you know anything about brain injury, if you know somebody who's had a brain injury, and we heard from one person today with that, I want to meet them. So the more specific you can be, both about what you need and what you want and whom you want to meet, and about what you're willing to give and what you can give, the more likely you can, as you put that out into this community, it will come back to you in ways you can't imagine. I mean, that's what everyone has stories about. It's the most remarkable week ever, and part of that is because people really do want to give. And they really want to give to you, and if you tell them what you want exactly, and who you want to meet exactly, you're likely to get it. And last but not least, of course, is serendipity, which is when all else goes forth, then trust serendipity. This is that moment that you think, oh, I'm lost, but there's somebody let me go say hello to them, and they turn out to be the most interesting person you met all week. Or like at another conference I was at recently, where I sat down with someone whom I barely knew, and at the end of it, my daughter had a fantastic summer job. So these moments, it's great, right? That was really good. That was a great lunch. So these graces that I work with every day, and they are the things that will help you drown out those voices that tell you what you can't do and what you shouldn't do, and that it's not possible for you to do. You can. So practice them, and I'll give you 3 challenges. So, number 1 is choose 5 people. This is the first challenge. But go through the Connect TED app is a great app. Go through and choose 5 people that you want to meet this week and reach out to them and specifically tell them why you want to meet with them. And chances are you'll get the meeting. Exactly where you're going to meet them, exactly what place, what time. That's one. The second one is sit with someone new. It's really tempting when you see your friends here to go sit with them. There's many sessions each day. So make sure that for at least one session each day, you sit with strangers. Nice things happen. And finally, connect. Don't be afraid. Go forth with a spirit of generosity and assume that everybody else you're talking to is as generous as you are, or maybe even more so. And that if you go ahead and tell people what you want and what you're willing to give, that likely it will deliver. So go ahead and come practice the graces on me, and I cannot wait to meet you, and have a great TED. Thank you.